Welcome back to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Squad, episode number 6. The conversation I want to get into today is George Kambosos Jr. versus Gervonta Tank Davis. And if Gervonta Tank Davis can actually pull off the win, why will it change the sport of boxing? Let's get into the conversation. These are the reasons why I think if the George Kambosos fight versus Gervonta Tank Davis actually happens, I think if Gervonta Tank Davis can actually pull out the win, I'm not saying it's going to be an easy fight because George Kambosos is a dog, man. He's an animal. You can tell that he loves to fight. The way he sit down on his punches, speed, how hard he worked. I think if he didn't work hard, I think Teofimo would have beat him. And I think that Kambosos showed a lot of heart in that fight, and I love that. But I think that if Gervonta Tank Davis win, which I believe he'll win if they actually fought, I just think Tank Davis is just a different type of animal. I think he's, it's kind of like watching Floyd. You knew Floyd was different. It's certain fighters that you just know is just a different breed. It's levels for a reason. Not to say Kambosos is a B-level fighter. I think he's an A fighter. But I think Tank Davis is an A-plus fighter. I think the reason why if Gervonta Tank Davis actually can pull out the victory, which won't be a easy task, I don't think, but I do think he'll get it. But if he pull off the victory, this is the reason why I think that the sport of boxing will change for probably 3-4 years down the line. I think he'll be the biggest star in the sport of boxing, even bigger than Canelo. And Canelo right now, to me, is the biggest star in boxing. He's the cash cow of all divisions. I think Gervonta Tank Davis will actually take that crown from Canelo Alvarez with ease. I just think when you talk undisputed, you talk about a knockout artist, somebody that's a slick boxer, excellent footwork, knows how to work the ring. He can adjust. Tank Davis is his own fighter. I don't really say that he's like Floyd Mayweather. I think he's his own fighter. And I think that's great for the sport of boxing. Is everybody try to run and be like somebody else. I think Tank Davis does a good job at being himself. Even in some interviews, he'll let you know, I'm Tank Davis. I ain't trying to be like Floyd Mayweather. That's just what I'm not saying. He say that with his mouth, but I think his action shows that he wants to be his own fighter. He wants kids to grow up and say, I want to be like Gervonta Tank Davis. But as far as taking that crown from Canelo, I think that it'll do. He'll be on when he do pay-per-view. It'll be like looking at Floyd Mayweather as far as numbers. I think his numbers would be astronomical. I think that he can actually hold a new standard for boxing. I think he can actually control the sport of boxing, kind of like what Canelo's doing. He can pick and choose who he want to fight, what divisions he want to go to. Because right now he's currently champion 2 different weight classes, 140 and 135. I don't know if he'll go back down to 130. 130. But just holding 2 different belts in 2 different weight classes, that's crazy. But I think that Tank Davis has so much more that he can prove, and also Kambosos has a lot to prove. I don't think he's going to lay down. I think this fight will be even. I think it will make George Kambosos even hungrier. I think the Devin Haney fight would be good. It'd be great for the sport of boxing. But I think that Gervonta Tank Davis and Kambosos, I think both of those fighters will get up early in the morning and be ready to fight. I think Kambosos will come ready because it's a harder task. I'm just saying that, just by watching tape. I think that Gervonta Tank Davis is a great fighter, and I think he can adjust easy. And not to take anything away from Devin Haney, but like I say, Tank Davis being 27 years old, his brain is probably working a little bit different than when you're 23 years old, like in Devin Haney. I think that George Kambosos is a good test for Gervonta. I think it'll be probably one of his hardest fights to this date. But I think that it could, if he do get the win, I think he can build off of it with ease. He can take things to a different level in the sport of boxing. Like I say, I think Gervonta can take over boxing. Right now, he's the cash cow only in his weight division, but Canelo holds the crown as far as being top dog in all divisions. No matter what Canelo do, people gonna tune in. He's always gonna have good numbers as far as pay-per-view. But I do think that Tank Davis could actually take that crown, and I think he can hold on to that crown for quite a while. And also, if he do get this win, just imagine the matchups after that. He wouldn't go down. He wouldn't go to some B-level fighters again. I think that Tank has shown enough, and should have shown Floyd Mayweather, that he can handle the pressure. And Tank Davis actually showed himself that he can handle the pressure as well. But I think that the fight, as far as pay-per-view, I think it'll do great numbers because people want to see what else Kambosos got to offer. I want to see more of Kambosos. I think that even with a loss, I think he can still do things good in the United States. And I think I mentioned that in my last video. So you guys let me know what you think about this conversation. And, do you agree or disagree that Tank Davis can actually take over the sport of boxing? I think he can. I think it'll be a really good thing for him to actually take over the sport of boxing. Because, having the type of celebrities that he have at his fights is just unheard of, especially in today's boxing. Boxing has went up and down, but now we got these young fighters in, 3 or 4 different weight classes that's actually showing that they really want to fight each other and really want to prove that, hey, I'm champion. But like I said, I think Kambosos got a lot to prove. I think he want to show people that wasn't just a fluke fight. But I do think he'll actually lose for many reasons against Gervonta Tank Davis. I just think Tank Davis, he hits a lot harder than Kambosos' last opponent in T.O. And I just think he's never seen anything like Tank Davis. I think with the adjustments and the way he can knock you out at any angle, both hands. I think George Kambosos, what's going to get him going is that he knows in his mind that this is going to be a harder challenge. And like I say, I'm not saying he would lay down or anything like that. I think he's going to come even more hungry. I think he'll be more hungry for this fight than he would the Devin Haney fight. But even with a loss, it's still a good thing for Kambosos, because I think he still can come back and still beat a lot of other fighters. He can get a fight like Adrian Broner. If Adrian Broner want to get back into it, he want to go up to 140 or 135 or whatever, they could meet there. But share your opinions on this topic. Do you think Gervonta Tank Davis can actually take over? Is he ready to take over? That's the bigger question. Just want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Squad. Let me know what's your thoughts on this conversation. I keep coming up with more conversation. That's the beauty about this channel. Everybody's opinion counts. My success is predicated on what you guys do. Only thing I ask you guys to do, if you watch the video, please like it. Doesn't cost anything. Subscribe does not cost anything. But you guys have been killing it for the guys that's actually subscribing and leaving conversations. It seems like every time I have a small conversation with someone, they subscribe. I try to keep you guys entertained. And also just my point of view on boxing. You don't have to agree with me for you to subscribe or anything like that. Whatever topic that I'm having, it's cool to disagree. That's what's cool about my channel. But we're gonna go ahead and cut this video short. If you want to shop for my clothing line, shoptati.com. All links will be down in the description below, as far as my IG page, Facebook, all that good stuff. And I will create a page for Big Bear Boxing Squad on IG. Conversation even bigger. But I just want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Squad.